So this is our, this is Dr. Pankaj Parikh, Raleigh, North Carolina. Our first session on March 13th to help Hindu parents in Triangle area to navigate the school system a little better with the expertise of some of our speakers who are here, and then to troubleshoot some of the questions that can come across on day-to-day basis while handling children from primary to high school level there. So that's the purpose of this gathering. Let me introduce the main speakers here, or main people who are involved is Miss Kalpana Chudasama, and she has retired as a school teacher teaching computer science initially in Henderson and now in Cary for almost probably 5 to 10 years, right, in Cary?
15 years.
15 years in Cary itself.
Believe it or not, Panther Creek High School in Cary. Yes.
Panther Creek High School. And so she just retired. So she's very fresh in that sense in understanding need of local place. Indu Nair has been involved in a variety of ways with children activities. So she will be helpful too.
Just going through
Let me mute all. I would mute all so that everybody other than the speakers would be muted. So Kalpana ji, you and Indu, you can certainly unmute yourself so that the voice wise. So let me invite Kalpana ji to give a little overview of the school system in North Carolina or in Raleigh. What are the options available so that those who have a younger children would find it easier on a long-term basis how to handle. Kalpana ji, go ahead. You are muted there. You are muted. You need to unmute.
Yeah. So as Pankaj Bhai said, I'm Kalpana Chudasama. I started teaching 2001 at the charter school in Henderson, and then I moved to Raleigh, and then since then, from 2008 until last year, I was a computer science teacher at Panther Creek High School. So as far as the school system goes, like magnet school versus the charter school or private schools, you have to see if your child is a good fit for the school and the school is good fit for the child. So there is no one size fits all. So that's why all these schools are thriving, because of that reason. That if your child is shy and you want to put them in a smaller school versus the huge school. So this is the options for the public school. Of course, they are quite big with class sizes and all that. Charter school is a public school, but it is a deregulated public school. So you can it mostly is by the lottery, and they're smaller class size, and sometimes they don't have to have all the teachers certified. So especially the elective classes. So you want to make sure that you know what the credentials of the teachers are for your child. They don't have a school bus. They don't have to have a cafeteria. But now most of them are figuring out the ways to get it all together, so the parents don't have to look for the ride each time and so forth. And also cafeteria, sometimes they cater the food from the local restaurants and give the option to the parents for the students to eat there. So that's the charter school. The magnet school is part of the Wake County Public School. Again, if your child is inclined that you want to put them in, like put him or her in the specific area of the curriculum, like in IT or music or arts or performing arts, all of these, the magnet schools are different that way. So you have to see which magnet school will be a good fit for your child. And at the same time, magnet schools are not like easy to get in. You have to apply, and most of the time it's kind of grandfather. So if you are in the magnet school in the elementary school, if your child gets into the magnet school in elementary, then you can continue that in middle school. There is no magnet school for high school. It's just the elementary and middle school. And again, magnet school.
Am I hearing that correct? We have Enlo, etc. are not magnet schools.
I'm sorry, high school. We only have one or two, I think. Enlo but that's also his academic and the
Right.
magnet
The
school.
Enlo and a Southeastern are the main magnet
Yeah.
schools where
Yeah.
all our children went, to be
Yes.
frank with you.
Y-
So they are the
Yeah,
magnet
you're
schools,
right.
right? Absolutely, they're magnet schools.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
high
yeah.
school, it is there. Sorry, I take it back. So the high school, they have it, but there are very few magnet schools, magnet high school compared to elementary and middle school.
But still,
Uh,
majority of the Indian children do end up going, quite a good number do end up going to the magnet schools. The way I see it, it might have changed of late. But in the past, at our times, almost all children went to the magnet schools in Raleigh,
Yeah.
there, right? I mean, by and large.
Yes,
It's-
because we
Yeah,
value
it's still the
education.
same. My daughter to Enlo, and it's almost like 70% are our children.
Yes, it's Indian. I mean, so yes, the magnet school, that's the main advantage, that you can focus on a certain area of the curriculum. And that's how it is. That's how it is designed. So the regular school.
Another more important feature of magnet school, the way I see it. Now, see, in Cary, there are so many Indian schools in the Indian children in the local schools that you don't feel that your child is isolated, sort of, he's a 1 out of 20. So that out of the 100 children or 50 children in a school, either there are 3 or 4 in North Raleigh or in Raleigh, the number of Indian children are very few in majority of the high schools. So for them, when they go to Enlo or a magnet schools, they find so much connectivity among them, and all Asian children, not only Indian, but Jewish, Chinese, etc. So the connectivity, they find it a lot easier to connect with variety of children. So that was the main draw in the past. In addition, obviously, they are academically a little stronger because all the children come from such background. And then the option given to do a lot of studies are also there, like academic or extra academic. So those was the main draw. This has become a little less of late in Morrisville, Cary, because there's so many Indian children in any case. So you don't feel it. I think you have taught there. That's why you feel that way. But if you're living in a Eastern Raleigh, Northern Raleigh, in Wake Forest, this is a striking, this is one of the strong reasons for people to opt for a magnet school there. Indu, do you, Ashaji, go ahead. You are muted. You might have to unmute.
Okay,
Yes,
got it.
please.
Thank you. Yeah, you're absolutely right. My kids, I have granddaughters going to Enlo school now.
Oh,
And,
really? Oh.
And my kids, I was practicing in Goldsboro, which is Eastern North Carolina. So from like small counties, the gifted children were sent to School of Science and Math. Have you heard of those?
Yes.
School of Science and Math?
Her children,
two
actually,
daughters
Kalpana's
went there.
children went there. Yes.
Okay, so my both kids went there, and now the grandkids are going to Enlo.
So she should
Right,
tell
see,
about science and math school in a short time too, while we finish this. Indu, do you have to add anything about this magnet, etc. schools?
Kalpana ji?
And he's
Uh,
asking Induji. So
Induji,
No,
do
I
you
think
have
there
to
are
add
schools now
anything?
in
You
high
want
school.
to mention anything more on this?
I think your screen is
No,
frozen.
only
I see her connectivity is less. Anyway, so
Right.
from these two, between
Oh.
magnet and the charter, is there anything to choose between the two?
The magnet is very specific to the, like Enlo, more academic focus, whereas charter school is just public school. There is nothing special except that they can have a smaller ratio with students and teacher. That's why they
Still,
designed the
as I
charter school.
understand, the Raleigh charter has been very popular though among many.
Yes,
What has
that
been
is
the
an
draw there?
exception.
What has been the draw there?
Because I think that they have excelled so much. Their trustee and the schools by itself, they have hired the best teachers. They attracted the best teachers, and it has gotten the good name because of that.
Is
and
it
then
still
this again,
ongoing? Is it still a good name, Raleigh Charter? Is it
it
still
is
worthwhile?
good. Yes, it is still a good name.
So for the
Yes.
high school, it is only all the high school, right? It is from 9, 10, 11, 12, right?
Yes.
10, 9, 10, 11, 12, all the 4 grades, it's possible. And you will still recommend that school as one of the possibilities.
Right, but so again, so hard to get in because
It
it's
is so
one
hard
of
to
the
get.
best schools in the area. They go by the lottery. So if you don't know, your name gets put, and also they have a higher level math classes. So if your child has taken the regular math classes in public school,
Let me mute the people. Hold on. Let's mute all, please. And you can unmute yourself, or the three speakers, please. Go ahead.
yes, so the charter school, this is what they have done, that when you apply, you have to have finished certain math classes in public school. So if you don't finish that, you are not qualified to apply in the first
So
place.
Raleigh Charter and any other high school charter schools are there, or Raleigh Charter is the main one?
I think there are a few more in the Western, like there is also the Triangle Science Academy, something like Math and Science Academy. That's different. There are a few others, and they still keep coming up, I mean, it's just like a bunch of people like us get together and we want to open the school. That's how the charter school
Well,
starts.
but we want to know what is special about those schools. So who else knows it? Induji, are you familiar with those schools?
Yeah. Yeah. So charter, what I heard about charter is because compared to Enlo, it is a smaller group. It's not like 2,000, 3,000 kids. That is one of the advantages that everybody is saying. Kids are getting better attention. Are you able to hear?
Yes, you are breaking up a little bit. I think your Wi-Fi is a little slow today. But yes, we got the point that it is a smaller classes. But in the charter, the like TMSA and couple of others, anyone else has a feeling about? Let me see who else is needs to be muted. I muted them. Yes. Gotcha. Yes, it's all unmuted. We should know a little bit about TMSA. Yesterday, somebody asked that question also about TMSA. So let's inquire if somebody's studying there or the parents are there. Who is the person and who is unmuted there? Somebody's voice is there. I can't believe it. Right. So now compared to the public school, magnet school, charter school, then there are private schools, right? Couple of them in Raleigh and Cary both. How would you put them and what is the draw in those?
Also, again, very good school, like we have Ravenscraft for so many years. It's been there. Cary Academy is also one of the best schools, So if you can afford it, like 50, 60,000 a year, almost like a college education, and you send them there, again, your child gets better attention, smaller class size, and they might offer certain classes that maybe the public school would not offer. So that's the draw there.
How about the
These are
Broadens?
20, 30,000, not
Broad-
50, 60, if I have to imagine, if I remember well. But that's roughly about. Anybody else has an idea about the fee structure there? It used to be 10,000, now it has grown up to 30,000.
I bet it is more than
Roughly
that.
about that, but
Very much.
yes, Raleigh
It
Charter,
is.
Raleigh Charter,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Charter is free.
It's
Charter
36
schools
or
are-
No,
40K
not charter.
right
I'm
now.
talking about the private schools, Ravenscroft and the Cary Academy. So those schools are about, I think, 20, 30. They are worth when the child needs especially a personal attention and is more, more hands-on and more one-to-one and is not as independent, probably, that they need a more, sort of a structured setting, I guess, and obviously if you're looking for more availability of the teachers and more resources, then those high schools come in picture there. We can go ahead with the questions then, what we had it, Indu, do you want to start bringing up those questions?
So before the question, let's move on to, like we're talking about the school. Also, let's talk about School of Science and Math.
That's interesting.
So the School of Science and Math is a public school paid for by government, and it's only for 11th and 12th grade students. You do have to apply in the 10th grade fall. And then it's again highly very competitive because they have a certain quota from each 100 counties in North Carolina. They will take certain number of students. Used to be 250. I think they have added more for junior year. So they take the best of the best students. Interview process is also quite lengthy. You first apply and then they will do the personal interview. And after that, they will let you know.
You have to apply probably in the 9th grade or a 10th grade?
No,
right?
10th grade.
In 10th. Gotcha.
10th grade.
So you have to
Yes.
start working on that from beginning of the 10th grade, somewhere in the mid 10th grade to apply, and then you are either approved or not
Right.
approved.
And actually the school, refers them. The schools will pick up those kids who are high functioning academically, like my both kids, so from 9th grade, they will start preparing them that, and the school has to select the kids to apply to School of Science and Math. And then it's a long process. They have to write essays and personal interview and 2 or 3 other, and SAT scores, and then they decide to take. And now they have opened one more School of Science and Math in Western North Carolina, because those kids were having a lot of too much distance for the families to come to Durham. It is located in Durham, School of Science and Math. And so they
Where
have
is the
opened.
second one located? Do you know? Is it near Charlotte?
It is
No,
it is on Morganton.
East Morganton, yeah. I
Morganton.
think it is Eastern North Carolina. You mean
Western.
Eastern or West? Is it Western? Okay.
Western North Carolina. And so they have the same setup there, because what they do is they pick up the kids from rural counties, or, because in Raleigh and Cary, there are a lot of very good schools. But in those rural counties, the kids who can really do very good, and they don't have opportunity in the small counties. So the school selects them and refers them. And it's a very tough competition because a lot of kids apply from all over the state. And they have, I think, 250 seats. In those times, I think it was even less when my kids went there. But, they kind of teach them at a college level. It's very, very high kind of, expectation. And it's really hard because like my kids, they were getting A's all the time. And when they went to School of Science and Math, all the kids are cream of the state, and they all are working hard, and they're still only 16, 17-year-old. So it was tough, but the kids have to live there. They have a dorm. And they learned from each other. There were a lot of Asian kids, which was good for my kids because they didn't feel like, they were the only Indian kid in the white.
Well, I mean, you didn't mention it is as tough for the parents. You're losing children 2 years earlier. Who likes that?
Yes.
Absolutely. That
But
is very
on the
hard
other hand,
too.
the second advantage there is very likely you will get direct admission to UNC. In the past, it was there. I don't know now. And I think
Yeah,
the
it
admission-
is.
Actually,
degree-
I think after my kids graduated, the later time, the UNC was, they even waived the fees.
Yes,
They were
for many years
getting
they
the-
did it.
Yeah,
I don't
so
know
that's
currently.
what happened with
Yeah.
our youngest daughter, Shalini.
Uh-huh.
That's happened with her because what happened is that they did not offer it with my older daughter, Shruti. And just want to tell you one thing, that it's not her school did not refer her. She applied on her own.
But it
And
might
she
be
got
both
in.
ways. In her case, the
Both
school
ways.
referred. In your case, it may not. All the
Right.
people who are online at the moment, feel free to show your face so that we know whom we are talking to. It would really help. But, it
Right,
could be
so,
both ways. That's possible. Go ahead.
So going back to the applying and getting there, it's like you said, it's a boarding school, and you have to live there. Especially the boys don't like it because at that time they start driving and they don't want to give up that, and what happened is that in the past, when they prepare all these students, because all the teachers are PhD level, when they prepared these students, the students used to go to all the Ivy League colleges, and they used to lose them to different states. And then most of the time, the students end up staying there and living there. So to keep them in North Carolina, they started offering the tuition free to all 16 public colleges of North Carolina and universities. So that's how our youngest daughter, when she went to UNC, we didn't have to pay the fees for her. So
Okay.
that is the advantage. And they had done the research, and they said that when they started offering this, 85% of the students stayed in the state. So
Yeah.
they kept that talent, they invested in that talent, and they kept them in North Carolina.
Makes sense. That makes sense. Then. So by the
So,
time
so
you
your
are in
daughter
a,
were you living in Raleigh area when she applied?
At that time, we were in Raleigh. Youngest daughter, she went to Wakefield High
Okay.
School and she applied.
Okay.
But my older daughter, we were in Henderson. So, like you said, it was a small school. She was
Right.
not recognized for her talent. She was not getting the best education.
Right.
So that's when we decided to send her there.
if your elder child is there, probably the younger children would be more likely accepted in those schools too. Is it likely, or that we do not know?
Not really.
I not really. I
Not
don't think
got it.
so. Yeah.
But I think all parents here should take that message that it is worth considering if the child is stronger, wants an academic challenge, then Durham Math and Science, and now even the another Math and Science school in the Western North Carolina is available. And those schools have their pluses. They have a college level teachers who can help them prepare even a lot of research activities. So it would be worth considering. But other than that, Raleigh schools, high schools themselves are also really nice. There's not much to lose, but it is worthwhile. Because in Raleigh and major cities, I think the competition is good enough. So that should work
See,
out.
and Enloe School is as good as School of Science and Math. So Enloe is very good. My granddaughters are going there. They are twins. So can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Let's move to the questions that we have, or if somebody has a question, please feel free to raise your hand and ask us so that we know. And again, I urge all to join the discussion rather than just keeping silently and listening. So let's say the first question. Indu, you want to go ahead and start with our question?
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I think our next question is like clubs. It's all related to clubs. We talked about the schools. Next is like there are a lot of clubs. We talked about Enloe. So you name it, you will find that club. That's how it is nowadays. So it's always challenging to understand which club is right for the kid, and then whether how many they should choose, because everybody is looking at like, okay, whether I will get admission in this college or that college, for that how many clubs I should be in. And also, is it good to just be in a club versus you need to have some leadership position there? You should be in the board or anything like that. I think that is one of the other questions that always comes up with the clubs.
The electives
Right.
and the clubs, etc., and number and how to choose. Gotcha.
Right. So as far as the club goes, I would advise the students to, what happens is that once you enter the high school in 9th grade, and I think in the middle school also have a lot of clubs. So if your child is in the middle school, encourage them to go, and by September, when the school opens in August and September, they start introducing all the clubs to the general students. You know, most of the time, some clubs are like already established there. Some club students can already start. So that's how it goes with the club. And what happens is that your child should go to all the introduction meeting of the club and find out what they do. And if that matches with them, or if that they feel like, you know, they can make a difference going into this club, they should highly, you know, they should apply for that. And 9th grade is the best time to get into the club. And if your child is going to the 9th grade, like when they are in 8th grade, the high school have the open house for 9th graders. So I would say go there, meet the teachers. They have the counselors there. They have all the club leaders there. Even the students are there who are part of that club, and they will answer all the questions. So you are well educated. You have done your homework per se before you even enter the high school in 9th grade. So you know exactly what is going on, what kind of club your child wants to be in, or he or she wants to be in, and then apply for it. I would say in 9th grade, you know, go to the clubs, go there and explore the clubs and do that. And then starting in 10th grade, start paying attention to narrow it down, cut down all the other clubs that, you know, you don't see anything from getting from there. The DECA is very popular. It's a marketing class club. So you go with the competition out of the state, and also there is an international. Future Business Leaders of America, FBLA club, is another one. that is the students, whoever, Future Business Leaders of America club is that you have to take some business classes on in order to be there. So it's an exclusive club, but you compete with other students in your region and then in your state and in your at the national level, and you get recognition like a business math or business communication or accounting or a data science. They have all these subjects that your child can learn more outside that. It gives them a great networking opportunity. It gives them confidence. Public speaking is one of the subject there that they compete in. Even middle school has this too, FBLA club. I used to be the advisor of FBLA club, so have done it, taken the students to national level several times. So know a little bit about that. And that's, I have seen one child, he was so shy in 9th grade. By the time he graduated, you cannot believe you can see the confidence has boosted so much in him being as a club leader. So in 10th grade, your child should focus on applying for the leadership roles in that club, in the board membership, and then maybe by 11, so she has done 9th grade, 10th grade, same club. 11th grade, he should have some position in the board, or she should have that. So that way, when they apply to college, they can say that they've been with this club, they have done this many things, X amount of volunteer hours, and we'll talk about volunteering a little bit later. So all of these things adds up. So instead of going to different clubs every year, let them focus on few that's going to be the best thing for them moving forward in college. Okay, and then 12th grade, of course, they can be the president, and they know, and they can train other students coming in to take the leadership role. So that's the club. About electives, again, kind of similar concept that you should want to follow, that the electives don't stay focused. Like sometimes what happens is the student comes in high school and all their focus is going to the college. All they want to do is study and get to the best college. But they forget that 4 years of high school where they can learn so much more, learning from different schools. So if the student comes with computer science field or medical field, they would not explore to go to the music class or go to the art class, or go to the psychology class. All of these are very, very important for them to get explored, because once they get focused and they apply to computer science field, for example, and they go to college, they're not going to take music class. They're not going to know anything about art. So I would highly recommend that even though their focus will be either biology or computer science or IT, any IT field, they still need to explore these classes. So that's how they will know. See, when the student comes to me in my computer science class, they just kind of apply and they came in there. And then they had no idea, once they start programming, coding, and they had no idea they have so much talent in them. That changes the entire outlook. So instead of going into medicine, now they want to do computer science because they have a natural talent, and we teacher recognizes this. And then we push them or we encourage them that, look, this is so easy for you. Keep doing this. When you go to work, it won't feel like you are going to work. It makes it so easy, and they get so much joy out of it. So that's about electives. I would highly recommend. And I am not against band, but a lot of students get into the band. The band is like the entire years of elective. So they will not be able to do anything. And I tell them, what are you going to do after band? What are you going to learn when you go to college? You don't want to tie into that 2 electives for the entire year just because, you enjoy playing drums or trumpet or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But then you should have been exploring other subjects. So that kind of makes them all-rounder
The headache that we all had noticed during the children growing up is that sometimes they get too entangled in multiple things. And the life becomes so busy that they don't have a time for their own relaxation, family things, and something outside. And so I think too much involvement is not also good, and too much free time, both ways, a good involvement. But I think more targeted, you are exploring variety of stuff and picking up what you are more involved in or more liking in, and over a time develop those hobbies I think those become a lifelong, help to you, whatever area that your specific liking is. There could be people who have a very strong passion for playing drums, and they may have a role of doing a drum in their life. But yes, they need to understand that then they could be missing out on some of the other things which may be more interesting or more helpful to them in their career there. So both situations are there. Sports wise, sometimes is it how much emphasis on the sports is worthwhile during the high school or during the
Think-
school in general?
Yeah, the sports are also very much part of the high schools, and it again goes back to the student, what kind of sport they want to play. There are tryouts, but uh, by the high school, they already know which sports they're good at, because all these sports in the middle school and what they have been playing outside the school, you can kind of recognize that. So, I mean, it would be nice for them to play at least one sport in high school.
So I see
So
sports in two separate ways. One is all children like that they should have an exposure to some art, dance, music, whatever. Similarly, some sports having a physically challenge is always worthwhile. However,
Yes.
1 out of 10 or 20 students or 50 students are very talented in a particular sport. One is an extraordinary runner, one is an extraordinary, tennis player. Then those can capitalize on that and not only enjoy that as a hobby on a long term, but also when you're applying to the colleges, I think it weighs very heavily. If they are a
Yes.
state level player, oh my goodness, the colleges are looking for them.
Yeah.
So any of the sports, if the children are good, then you give all hearted, but then all should have a general exposure to the sports in any case for their own physical development and liking and understanding the sport. I mean, sport is a part of United States. You can't be away from that. But on the other hand, it is no use pushing the children just for the sports when that is not their passion. Their passion is more in dance or music. It's no use pushing them in the sport. They may do it and enjoy, but on the other hand, the unnecessary time wasted there would be a waste of time, and the children might have a actually negative or inferiority feeling that she's not able to keep up to the other children who are much stronger or bigger and so on and so forth. There's no reason for that, because all of us have our own territory where we are stronger. So it is better to promote those stronger situations. But exposure to all is reasonable. I'm always for that. But if your child is
I
a
think,
special talent in a particular sport, it is worth capitalizing on that for a long term because it really pays off very well.
You're absolutely right, Dr. Pai. Only thing is, we Indian people sometimes, I don't know about the younger generation, but like in our times, we were more focusing on the academics,
Understand?
because we are not exposed when we were in college or schools, about sports and other extracurricular activities and all that, So that's one thing I suggest that younger people, like you're saying, to expose them to different things, but let them pick and choose and never stress them never force them to do what we want to do, what we
Understandable.
want them to do.
In the sports, I
Yes.
wanted to add another small thing that while American sports like football, etc., are there and they are great, but on the other hand, especially in Triangle, we have an access to plenty of Indian sports. I mean, our cricket teams are superb. So if the children go to state or national level on a cricket team, I don't see any problem. They will be able to.
Yes.
They may not be as much marketable as what the basketball is, but who cares? I mean, at the end of the day, if they enjoy, and I think the colleges would look at that commitment and liking in any case. And the same way, Triangle now has an option of badminton, table tennis, variety of sports are very easily playable and so on and so forth. So, if they like it, I don't see any problem in not promoting in that sense.
I think
yeah, we have.
that's
Go ahead.
how it goes, like the cricket will start at a small scale and then popularity increases and then people start getting interested and then it grows and grows and more people want to play it. Then, even in this country, I think people are getting more exposed to cricket now.
Yeah,
Before
I
they-
had students who went to the tournament and they had
Yeah.
to take time off away
Right.
from school to attend those, tournaments.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we do have a good cricket, team at high school level as well.
That's great.
But those are not
Can
part
I-
of the school sports. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Somebody has a question.
Yes, sir. Actually, my kids are not in any sports, so I was just curious, do we need to really have them in one of the sport, or it's okay if they are not in any of the sports? but they are in other activities.
I mean, nothing is mandatory to me, but sports is a
Okay.
sizable part of United States in general. When they are growing up, they are going to remember the sports they have played. Also, sports make them aware of how to compete positively. See, good part in our US sports here is it is played in such a nice way when you see the soccer fields and the children playing there. I mean, it is a very good comradeship and competition, tough competition, but still at the end of the day, the sportsmanship is brought out very nicely. So if you can, and if they are not group sports like the soccer or basketball, our children are not going to be in a football by and large. There are few, but football is not the game for majority of the Indian children, in
Yes.
course. But
Yeah.
exceptions exist. But sometimes
Yeah.
if the child is more individualistic, they may do very well with the tennis or similar sports where only one or two rather than multiple people are involved. So, it depends on their liking. But if the person is more oriented to dance and drama, it's no
Yeah,
use pushing
absolutely.
them there. But, encouraging them to get a feel about the sport is always worthwhile, I would personally think. But I think that
Even
each person is different.
swimming, they have a lot of swimming.
Swimming
Oh,
also,
yes.
yes, it's another great hobby by itself
Yeah.
there, where children, whether he's alone or whether he's in a
Yeah.
group, both ways they can enjoy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are
Most of
actually
the
playing in school, but I have not like put them in specifically outside school. Like they are not in any soccer or tennis or any other sport. In school, whatever they play, and here in the community when they play in the evening with the friends. So, but not like professionally or like they are not going any classes or coaching. So that's what I was just checking. Shall I send them, or it's okay not to send?
Well, even if most of the children would not do professional sports, because very few would grow into that. It's like Indian cricket. Thousands and hundreds of thousands of people play, few become cricketer, right? So on the same way here, you're not talking of making them cricketer or a professional person, but on the other hand, the sports does build their physical and mental capacity. So if you can get them, if they like it, if they see that there is no age, it is late to enter sport. Yes, it becomes you are a little bit behind, but within 3 months, 6 months, if the child is strong, he'll pick it up. So if he likes certain sport, like for me, tennis became a lifelong hobby for me once I picked it up in the college. And then I could play even after coming to US and settling and so on and so forth. So you are giving them an additional hobby to have for their life. Only thing they should like little
Yeah,
bit. It may take any sport takes some time, especially tennis took years for me to learn. But even though I didn't become really good tennis player, even then I enjoyed it. So, sports it can be enjoyed at multiple levels. It doesn't matter. And not everybody has to be the same. And that's the fun of the sport. There are 1 to 10 level of tennis. I may be 2 or 3, but who cares about it when you play? So, it's a great hobby for them to have it, depending
Also,
upon their.
it's a very good way of stress relief.
It's a
Yes.
tremendous way
You
of
know,
stress, no
yeah,
question about that. But
right.
somebody can have stress relief by dance or by drama too. So
Sure,
I'm all for that. I mean, any
absolutely.
of the hobby would be a good stress relief. But the
Right.
sport has its own charm. I mean, it's physically, mentally both stimulating. So if you can encourage and help them pick up one sport, and it's very easy to enter in the local soccer teams outside the school too. If they don't want to do the school, then you do outside there. They are demanding in a sort of, they require, I mean, Americans, when they put the heart, they make you work like a dog. They're running around all those tournaments and practicing and practicing.
Yes.
So sometimes they overdo it, but that's a part of the life there.
Yeah.
We have almost
to answer your
8:45. I
question,
think
yeah, it would
we
be a
can
good
take a couple
idea
of
to.
questions and others. But I think, I mean, my children did, my daughter didn't do much sports. She did a dance. My son did a lot of sports for 10 years, soccer. Kalpana, I think your 3 daughters, I do not know how, they were involved.
They
in
did the
some.
basketball.
They did
Mostly
basketball. So, I
basketball.
mean,
Yes,
and
and
none of them
tennis
are a
as well.
player. None of them are player,
No.
but when they go for the basketball tournament or when they're watching the basketball game, you enjoy it a
enjoy.
lot more. It's like we enjoy cricket a lot more because we have played it. While the Americans would not enjoy the cricket, and the same reverse thing happens for the football for us, or
Right.
American football for us, right? So we don't enjoy it as much as they enjoy it. So I guess it does give you. Any other question that comes up? I think we're almost 8:46, so we could have another session for additional stuff. Go ahead.
To go for swimming like till champion level, or like just up to like until they learn swimming, that is okay?
Well, swimming is a great hobby by itself, and it's a life-saving. I hope you realize that. I mean, I pity the people from India who come in, and I know some of my family members, and they wouldn't be able to swim. I mean, it's pitiable, right? I mean, you have a free swimming pods in all the subdivisions, and we cannot do that one and enjoy. So, I mean, swimming is a great hobby. Whatever level she plays or he plays is reasonable. Yes, if the child has a competitive spirit and has a stamina and physique to grow, then you should pour your heart to help him. But pushing him, even though he cannot, then it will not be a great idea. Then you may dissuade him more rather than. So let them enjoy the sport. That is the most important part. And then you find ways to help them grow into that as the time goes. But championship, I
Okay.
would not even worry about that. Even one of my younger member in my extended family, he plays in India at a national level tennis. But mine and his parents' thinking is very simple. He enjoys the game and buck stops there. Whether he
Correct.
goes number 1 or number 10, it doesn't matter to us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
with that spirit, if you do number 1, children would be your friends. They wouldn't hate you. Otherwise, they hate you that you, for your ulterior motive and telling all your friends that my child is a national player, you keep on bragging and poor guy keeps on sweating. That is not fair there.
Yes.
Let it be their
Yes.
passion there. I wouldn't force
Yeah,
them
they are.
because you want to have them as friends rather than as enemies.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. They
Parik,
are coming
Parik, can I ask a
Yeah.
quick question? Can I ask
Please open up the video. We like to see your faces, sir.
yes. Can I ask a quick
Yes, please.
a follow-up on the question that was asked about the college and the importance of the extracurricular activity for the college admission, right? So let's say, for example, you have a child who is good in studies, right? And is extremely introvert and doesn't want to do any sports or anything. It's only good in studies. What are the chances? So a lot of parents will have that question, right? Okay, so my son doesn't play anything, is good in studies. So what are his chances of getting into college? Like a good
I mean,
college.
listen, US has a choice and possibility for everybody. The nerds are also needed. I mean, all these research institute need nerds also. I mean, don't you think so?
Yeah.
Because the sportsmen are not able to focus what nerds can do. So, I mean, need is, I wouldn't worry about their survival. Let's put it this
Yeah,
way.
exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
That's-
you know, but on the other hand, their life may become better by having some extra hobbies outside regular studies, whatever area they like. And it may be as simple as
that's
photography
absolutely
and videography. It may be as simple as drama. It may be as simple as music. So whatever
What
area
about-
he likes it, but I think his survival would not be a children. Indian children, I have not seen faltering in United States. By and large, exceptions exist, but by and large, they all do well. They come
Yeah.
from the parents like us, and I mean, they know which way to strike, and they work out. And I mean, Kalpana's daughter, one of them she's a plastic surgeon in Raleigh. She's so talented and so well settled. So, but now, you know, I mean, there are people who sometimes have the more worrisome to me for a child who is very introvert is when he goes on his own to the colleges and subsequently when he's away from you. How is he going to navigate this earth, right? I mean, you know, in the world, it helps child having a little bit outgoing possibilities, but you can't force to become the outgoing. That then it will make it worse. Why don't I ask Asha ji? She is a better person, being a psychiatrist, to help answer that. How to make the child a little bit more mixing in that sense.
Again, you know, we cannot push them, but it does help to get college admission if they have other extracurricular or community services or some other, you know.
or sometimes I heard even the scout, you know, for example, if you have your kid in a scout, you know, who has like an Eagle Scout pass out,
Yes.
even that helps.
Yeah.
So
Scouts or, you know, for girls, you know, so extracurricular activities really help to get admission in the good colleges. But again, the thing is, you know, it depends on your home environment. How are the parents? Are you getting them exposed to are you introvert also? Do you encourage them to go with their friends outside? Or, you know, how much supervision are you doing? Or like, you know, you're not being too strict, but to see, we all have personalities, you know, and we cannot change that. Some even adults, you know, we are introverts. Some people like to be very social, but for kids, I think it's really important to be with their peer group and socialize, boys and girls both. And the best ways to, you can encourage their friends to come to your house. So, and let them play and have like playtime. I don't know how old is your child, it depends on the age also. For teenagers, it will maybe different, like how much you can let them go out, or because sometimes we Indian parents are very strict and we put them in their mind, oh, these American people are no good, don't go out, don't socialize with them. So that becomes a problem later on. So the best thing is to encourage them to talk, not on the social media, but in person. I used to invite their friends to my house when they were like in middle school type. And they will enjoy, they will play games, they will watch TV, and they will even eat our food. And so I think if the kid is still young, you need to get him involved, and you need to get involved. Take them to parks, picnics, school activities, then how many siblings he has, it depends on lot of things. You cannot force him to go alone and socialize, because sometimes the kids are shy, and that
No,
age, like
and
they are
what-
getting into adolescence, they
what
are
is-
very aware of their looks, their
and
body.
what is there now, keep in mind that it could change. You will be surprised when he comes out of the college, he may be totally different person. So just sometimes as a parent, we should have a patience and perseverance with them. The last thing you want to do is to hurt their ego, to make them look bad irrespective of what's happening. If we can stay with them and help them to the extent possible, find avenues to make it possible for them to interact with others, that is definitely worthwhile in a way that Asha is suggesting, and inviting the friends, going out, going to the movies or going to the sports shows and so on and so forth. And slowly he may get attracted that, hey, this is worthwhile. But each one of us has a personality, right? I mean, everybody is not
Yeah.
going to be Amitabh Bachchan, and everybody is not
It's-
going to be Shah Rukh Khan
and
too.
the
So, I
personality.
mean, people have their own personalities, and we got to
Yes.
understand we all come from a background in the sense about who knows his prior birth and where it comes.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's hard to change. But we can
So
be
to answer
helpful
your
as-
question,
Go ahead.
to answer his question about what are his chances for getting into the college when your child is introvert and hasn't done much. So does he like volunteering? Does he have passion for specific things? Forget about volunteering if he doesn't want to do that, being
No.
introvert.
Yeah, so in my case, my son is 14 years old, and he's about to go into like Eagle Scout. He's active. So I was just
Good.
generally posing like a general question for like
Yes.
all the Indian parents, because I studied here. I have a PhD from New Mexico. I did postdocs, and I work for a clinical research organization. Now I was given that I've studied here. Sometimes I hear parents talking about, you have to push our kids to go into like Ivy League now, start from very young age, push them to get into Ivy League. And I clearly don't get the point of why.
That's not important, really.
Yeah, why
That's not
they-
important. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's why I just want to put that out so that parents are clear
Right.
that you don't have to push your kids to start from very young age, have
Yeah.
all the activities done so that you can go to Ivy League,
Yeah.
right?
No,
No.
See,
Yes.
Ivy Leagues, sometimes they can have negative effect,
Right.
So they should go where they're comfortable, where they're fit, they are happy, they have friends, they socialize, they feel that they fit in that environment, because otherwise a lot of mental problems start. And I have seen
Yes.
that Ivy
Yeah.
kids, Ivy League kids, they get into drugs, they're depressed, they're away from home, too much pressure. So that's really not very healthy.
I mean, one of the
Yeah, if you give-
reasons for our group that we have started is to help see how, as a parents, we can look after the future of these children, that they remain not only having a strong networking among themselves, but they feel connected to their roots of Indian parents, of India, of Hinduism, and etc. So all this, if we can provide them a substrate, and that is a part of our group's mission, that how can we provide connectivity among them, that they are, they are well centered in whatever area of the life they do, whether they do as an introvert or as an extrovert. Both could be a problem and both could be helpful. Let's put it this way. So in either way, we want them to be at the end of the day happy and fulfilled, and hopefully well connected to both the current world and their roots. So this is the purpose of our discussion during the group, that how can we not only address the school pickup, etc., but can we enhance their journey and make them a stronger individual? We have enjoyed our roots and our background and connectivity among them. That's the reason we could at the moment get together as Hindu parents, right? Because we have a feeling that let us help our own generation, younger and future. So that's the reason where Asha Kohli, she is retired. I'm almost getting that age, but we still feel if youngsters can get something out of our experience, we are here there. We may not be
You know,
perfect, but the aim is there
Yeah.
to hopefully find some solutions.
the amazing thing is that, you know, when you're raising your kids and they go into college, you know, you feel that you kind of have lost them, you know, they're in different mood and different culture, but they come back, you know, when
They
they
do
grow
come
up,
back.
they come back. And it's funny that they want to instill in their kids the same values which we were trying, or, you know, we were doing it. So like in my grandkids, I see it's so amazing, and it makes me so happy that they want to eat Indian food, they want to wear Indian clothes, they want to sing Aarti. I mean, and the parents do it too. But at that time, there comes a phase when they are a little bit disconnected, isn't it?
Yes.
And the
Yeah,
disconnection is
absolutely.
more if they are much more in a setup, like I think you were in Goldsboro where Indians are
Right.
less, then it is little more problem. If they're in Cary or Enloe, they're going to have much
Now
more.
there are so
But
many
still,
Indian
even
kids.
there we had difficulty. I know that it was different. So there is a phase, I think, between a 9th, 10th grade to middle part of the college where you feel what children
Yeah.
really raise.
Yeah.
And then it turns around and then you realize. And frankly, the children who hated Indian food during the school, the moment they're in the college now, they want to start eating all Indian stuff and do bhangra and blah, blah, blah. So
It-
you could get
Yes.
surprised how it turns around and it becomes
Yeah.
better.
Yeah,
The
it
biggest-
is.
But anybody have any other questions that we should entertain them? I mean, do you have any more questions? The one
No,
that asked.
I
I
think
think
the
we had enough at the moment. I think it's time to wrap it up. So if you have somebody has a question or comment, they are most welcome. But I think, you know, at the moment we could probably wait almost an hour we have passed. Anything else? Shall we?
Yeah.
Kalpana ji,
Yeah,
anything else
I
comes to
just-
your mind?
Somebody has a question. Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, I just do she have clubs in her school in middle school? So she said that she don't have any clubs in her middle school. So clubs means, is this electives you are saying, the electives which they select in every grade, or it's something different?
The clubs are different. That's like that happens either after school or during the school, the meetings and all that happens. So the club is different versus the elective classes. They have to take certain electives in order to graduate. So
Correct.
that is the different subject. And like I say, I would encourage to take a lot of different electives, even if, you know, your daughter does not like it, at least just tell her to just try it out, you know. And they normally, like, I think first 10 days or so they can check it out, and if they don't like it, most of the school would offer them to take a different class, something like that. So it's not fixed, but I would encourage them to, because you never know where your talent lies, you know.
If you
Until
don't
you
know
get
what
experience.
electives are available in the school or clubs are available, you should talk to the counselor. They would tell you,
Yes.
isn't it?
Okay, yeah,
And a
I will
school
ask her
page
teacher.
in the school website would have all the clubs listed there.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, it's a good start, I think. Any other
Yeah.
question, comments? We can probably plan to meet in the future there and we can continue this discussion if necessary
Yes,
Yes,
and
that would be
people
helpful,
can
thank
post.
you.
I'm sure they can post on the WhatsApp group
on the WhatsApp group.
if they have a
Yes.
question. So
Be
if
more
they don't want,
involved, the more the people are involved in the WhatsApp group, the more we know that it's worthwhile having the group rather than just 1 or 2 persons posting, that there is a genuine question and comment so that we can all learn from each other. Wonderful. Shall we say good day for all?
Yes.
And
Okay.
have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
evening.
Thank you
Bye.
so
Thanks
much.
Asha ji,
thanks for
thank you
Thank
very
setting
much.
it up.
Kalpana ji, thank you
Yeah.
very much. Indu ji, you have been kind too.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Namaskar.
Yep.
Namaskar.
Thank
Bye.
you. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.